There was a time in my business when I thought working hard meant that I was being a better provider. And maybe you guys can relate to this, that we're working all these hours, we're trying to build this business, but we're slowly losing time at home. And there was a time when I did not do this very well. And what it led to is it led to my wife being upset with me. It led to her being overwhelmed with the kids. And I kept telling myself this lie that like, oh, I'm just doing this for the family. But in reality, it was a very selfish thing to do. So I was building this business, but I was slowly losing time at home and losing time for the things that really matter. A lot of times we talk about business like we're buying back time and we're buying back freedom, and then we let the business just like fully consume us and take all of our time. And I learned the hard way that that is not the right way to do it, and it's just not worth it to sacrifice your family and your freedom for building the business. And during this time in the early stages of business, I always just kept telling myself that this was temporary, that it was just a season, and then eventually it would get back to normal. But over time, that temporary just became the new normal. And so I realized that I needed to make a change. So in this video, I'm going to show you the changes that I was able to make in order to improve my family life and actually be home and be present for my family while still being able to grow the business. So now for me, life looks completely different than it did in those early grind stages. I now run multiple seven-figure companies. We run multiple crews, I do coaching, I run live events, and I'm still home for dinner every single night. And by doing this, I'm able to never work more than 40-hour weeks, but still get all of the things done that are required of me and still be able to grow my businesses. So I'm gonna show you exactly step-by-step how I structure my week, the non-negotiables that I put into my calendar, and how you too can grow your business without sacrificing your family and your freedom. So in the early days, my business had no boundaries. So I would answer calls until late at night, and I know it would drive my wife crazy, but I just felt like I had to. Maybe you can relate to that. I felt like if I didn't answer those phone calls from those customers calling in late, that like my business would be ruined and we would never be busy. But what I didn't realize at the time is by answering the phone call at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, it was teaching my customers that that was okay, and that they could have my time and attention anytime they wanted, and that should not be the case. So back then I would take every single job that was presented to me, even if it wasn't profitable. I would be sending out quotes super late at night, and our customers would probably be asleep in bed and they were getting their quote, and it just wasn't a great experience for them. I would tell my wife that I would be home at a certain time, and then my day would end up taking longer than I thought, and I'd show up after dark. I just feel like in the home service business in general, if you don't make it end, work's never gonna end. There's always another job to do. There's always another quote. There's always something else that you could be doing in your business to make you feel like busy and productive, but you're slowly losing out on your life and your family. So if you don't have a hard stop and you don't decide when you're gonna be done for the day, it's never going to stop. So what can happen a lot of times to business owners, and I see it all the time, is you can grow a business, but at the same time grow a life that you don't even like or that you never even wanted. So I realized I didn't need more motivation. I really just needed a system in place so that I could manage my time better, so that I could get done all of the things that I needed to do without ruining my life. So every single entrepreneur out there has 24 hours in a day, but not all of them, and I would say most of them, in fact, do not control their calendar very well. So if your calendar is empty, somebody else is always going to fill it. So when I didn't plan my week got planned for me. Maybe this was customers demanding my time. Maybe this was employees demanding my time. Maybe this was fires going on in the business that I just felt like I had to fix because I didn't have the right things on my calendar. So your calendar is gonna show what you actually value and what's actually important to you. This is the exercise that I do with almost every single business owner that I work with one-on-one. This is called the 168-hour exercise because there's 168 hours in a week. So we start our week with 168 hours. Let's say that we then sleep 8 hours a night. That's pretty reasonable. That's gonna be 56 hours. So we're gonna be left with 112 hours on our week. And then let's say you work for 40 hours a week, which I'm a big proponent of. I know a lot of the gurus out there on YouTube or whatever are gonna tell you that you need to work 60 or 70-hour weeks. I don't think that's possible to get what you want. So let's say you work 40 hours a week. That's gonna leave you with 72 hours left. This one, I think is a little bit of an overshot, but let's just say for the sake of this exercise that you go to the gym 5 days a week and you work out for 2 hours, or it takes you 2 total hours between getting there, getting your workout in, and getting out. That would leave us with 62 hours left. Let's say that we have 20 hours a week that's spent dedicated to our family, our kids, eating food, things like that. That's gonna leave us with 42 hours remaining. So you still have 42 hours after we've taken care of our work, after we've taken care of our bodies, after we've taken care of our family. So after we've done all this, we still have 42 hours left. And I know my 42 doesn't look very good, but we still have a full-time job even after we've done everything. So a lot of times we say like, oh, I don't have time. But I think a better thing to replace I don't have time with is that it's not a priority for me. Because if it is a priority, it should go on your calendar and we should make time for it. Having enough time typically is not the problem. The problem is not planning for the time that we do have. So once you realize that you actually do have time, you can start to assign that time intentionally. And that is where time blocking comes in. All that time blocking means is that before the week starts, every single hour has a task assigned to it. The first category is going to be growth time. So these are the hours that you set aside to directly provide for your family and grow your business. So this is going to be doing things like sales. This is going to be working on your marketing. This could even be creating content. This could be closing jobs or following up with your prospects. This is just going to be actual needle moving things inside of your business that take your business to the next level. The second category is going to be leader time. So this is going to be planning team meetings, actually doing those team meetings, casting vision to your team, hiring new people, planning for the future, and training. If you don't schedule in time as a leader, you're always going to be stuck as a worker. The third category is going to be builder time. This is when you're actually working on the business and not working in the business. So this is building systems, this is building SOPs, building processes within your business, looking at the problems with operations and working on fixing them, and just giving yourself time to think so that you can know what to do next. This is the type of time that is going to make everything in your life easier 6 to 12 months from now because you're building the systems for it now. The fourth category is going to be family time. This probably should be number one, but these are not in order of priority. But I do think that this is what should go on your calendar first. So this is dedicated time with your significant other. This is dedicated time with your kids if you have them. This is planning out when you're going to eat dinner. This is weekly non-negotiable date nights. This is one of the most important things inside of my marriage is that we do a date every single week. And it always happens no matter what. This may be times when we're gonna go out with our family or fun things we're gonna do. That all needs to go on the calendar so that it actually happens. I'm not fitting my family around work, I'm fitting work around my family. Category number 5, and in my opinion, this is probably the second most important after family time, is health time. So this is setting aside time to go on walks. This is setting aside time to go to the gym. This is setting aside time to go to sleep and actually be in bed on time so that you get enough sleep to be able to perform. This is recovery time. So for me, that looks like sauna and cold plunge. A line that I'm constantly saying to myself and reminding myself of is that high energy equals high income. So what that means is if you're not going to the gym, you're not prioritizing your health and taking care of yourself, you're constantly going to be sluggish, tired, and you're not going to be able to show up best for your family or for your employees if you're always tired. And then category number 6 is going to be reset time. So this is actually putting on your calendar time to plan. This is time to think and reflect on your past week and see what you could have done better. And I think it's important that we just have a day off like Sunday to just relax and reset and be ready to go the next week so that we can show up as our best self. And my weeks now look a lot different than they did when I was growing my business because my priorities are a little bit different. And I actually have more focus on my coaching business now because Reach Window Cleaning pretty well runs on its own. So every single Sunday, we have weekly planning time set aside. So this is time where we're actually sitting down and doing all of this planning. Something that I used to do is I would actually put specific time in to be with my wife, be with my kids, etc. I do put date nights in now, but I'm home every single day by 5 o'clock. So I just know that that's my time with my family. So I don't actually put it into my calendar, but I did for a long time just to get in the habit of me being home and having family time. So every single Sunday I have time set aside to actually sit down and plan this out. So this is the upcoming week as right now as I'm filming it. So it's not actually complete yet, but it has some stuff on it. So my gym time you can see every single day. Time set aside to work on Reach Window Cleaning. Like I said, I don't spend a ton of time in the business, but I like to still have a grasp on what's going on and work on like what we can do next to grow. So you can see I have to leave time for my coaching group members. So I have to leave available time so that they can book in calls, but everything gets filled around that time so I can be as productive as possible. And for you, you may not need to leave any empty time. You may just have every single task that you need to get done and then just get it on your calendar and then get it done. I have a few rules that I do not break. Dinner time is protected and I'm home for dinner with my family every single day. So every single Sunday I sit down for about an hour and I plan my upcoming week. I put in all of the things that are important and I adopted this mindset that if it's on my schedule, it is important and that means that it has to get done and I'm not gonna move it off of my calendar. My gym time is scheduled. I've had periods of time inside of my business where I did not focus on the gym. I did not focus on my health and my body. And because of that, my mental health struggled, my physical health struggled, and my energy really struggled. My phone is off at night. And once I get home about 4 or 5 p.m. every day, I put my phone away and I'm not checking my notifications. I'm turning the business off and I'm just focusing on my family. I spend 1 to 2 hours every single day directly with my kids and my wife and just enjoying time together. And it's crazy with the kids, they don't really need that much of your time, but they do need dedicated, focused time and just doing the things that they want to do. Now, I want to say this as well, because I know a lot of you watching this are still the one in your business doing absolutely everything. You're probably answering the phone still, you're sending the quotes, you're doing all the jobs yourselves, you're doing the follow-ups. So this isn't one of these videos where I'm just going to tell you, oh, all you need to do is just hire a bunch of employees and delegate everything, because you don't have to do that in order to manage your time correctly and still have a family life. When I was doing everything, I still learned to start time blocking. So you don't need a perfect business in order to start running your week like a real business owner. As you start to grow, you're gonna wanna start working towards having help in the field. So having technicians who can do the jobs for you. You're gonna wanna start hiring somebody to answer the phone for you. You're gonna wanna start delegating small tasks that aren't worth your time anymore. You're gonna wanna work on building recurring revenue so that you have more predictability in your business. And eventually you'll be able to hire some leadership in your business and really step out. But even before you do all of this, I promise you, you can manage your time correctly and still have time for your family. I didn't build all of these things that we have at Reach Window Cleaning now overnight. It was built piece by piece, person by person to get to where we are today. Whether you're solo right now and you're wearing a lot of hats, or you've got a team, all of this still applies to you. So control your time today, build systems as you grow, and I promise you every stage of business gets a little easier. So in closing, I didn't build this business just to be busy. I built this business to create the dream life that I always wanted, and I was able to get that. I want my family to feel the benefits of what I'm building while I'm building it and not just hear about it later. So I promise you that you can build a real business and you can still be present at home. But it's not going to happen by accident, and it's not going to happen just by talking about it. It starts with your calendar, your non-negotiables, and the standards that you set for yourself. If this video hit home for you, drop a comment below and tell me what's one thing that you're going to change about your calendar this week. I read every single comment and I want to know exactly what you're working on. And if you're serious about building a real business and not just staying busy, hit that subscribe button, because that's exactly what this channel is about.